I have been with ADR for the longest time. ADR means Alternative Dispute Resolution, but it may also mean Appropriate Dispute Resolution. It includes negotiation, mediation, conciliation, arbitration, and traditional mechanisms for resolving and dealing with disputes. At the international level, it stems from Article 33 of the UN Charter to the effect that if there's a dispute anywhere on earth, it shall be dealt with through negotiation, mediation, conciliation, international courts, and arbitration, so on. So ADR is something that has been introduced into Kenya by Article 159 of the Constitution. It received constitutional recognition. And Article 159 is to the effect that should there be a conflict, it shall be dealt with through negotiation, mediation, reconciliation, and traditional justice systems, so long as the tenets of justice are upheld. So we are at a situation where at the country level, ADR is recognized. But arbitration, which is what Nairobi Center for International Arbitration does, has been around. And there has been an act of parliament dealing with arbitration for the longest time ever, arising from the New York Convention, which we acceded to. And going on to our own act, the act has been amended a few times. And there are institutions that promote arbitration, like the Nairobi Center for International Arbitration, Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, Kigali International Arbitration Center, and many, many others that have come up. But I think we need to reflect on what is the future of ADR from where we sit. Is it something that is dying off, or is it something that has a future? For me, I say the future is completely bright for ADR. In the first place, in the African context, ADR is not alternative. It is the thing people go to. It is what people do. Because in Africa, there was the idea that human beings should live in harmony. And to the extent that ADR promotes harmony, then that is where to go. It is not something we are importing now. It's something that is getting a recognition once more and being mainstreamed nationally and internationally, especially nationally. And let me deal with nationally. The policy has just been finalized. It's going to go to Parliament, received cabinet approval, but it's something that involved all the stakeholders, and they were being asked, where do you want us to go? So I see ADR developing, becoming bigger and bigger, and being used by very many people. For example, in the court system, we have the court-annexed mediation, which is growing, and this is annexed to the court. And even within the court-annexed mediation, we do have private mediation. When two parties mediate, they can register that agreement in court. At the international level, we have the Singapore Convention dealing with mediation, so that if there's a mediation and the parties do agree, they can have that registered, just in the same way as you can have an arbitration award registered. So I see a future in ADR. I even see a reconceptualization, so that we no longer call it ADR, we call it Appropriate Dispute Resolution. At the regional level, I see a lot of it. Already arbitration between the East African community countries has taken root, but there are other mechanisms that can also be used at that level. At the village level and other levels out there, there's the traditional justice systems and the community justice systems already in use, have been in use for hundreds of years, but recognized now and mainstreamed by government. At the level of the national NCIA itself, they promote mediation, they promote arbitration, conciliation, and other mechanisms. Well, what is the future? It shall be embraced even more and more. We shall also go online in terms of using technology to reach as many people as possible with these mechanisms, so that it's no longer necessary to physically go to a place to resolve a dispute. It will be easy and important and possible to resolve it online. And that is where we are going. So this is not something we can ignore. This is something we must support. And the collaborations that NCIA is about to get into or has gotten into are important. At the national level, they have sensitized everyone. At the international level, there are certain collaborations. We need to support them all so that we can move forward.